This is a brief upload for the 13th of this month with regard to the very serious obstructions and perversions of justice that my little boy and I have been experiencing. Now, as I've highlighted on my channel, the impact statements and the ombudsman procedures that were brought to the attention of the relevant bodies is still unaddressed, and there is still the issue of theft that I keep reiterating, not just of my child from my care, which is quite dangerous and is carelessly being waylaid, which is highly irresponsible for a young baby's unlawful separation experience to be disrespected and ignored after all he's tolerated. So there's been the theft of my child from me, which is quite serious, very serious in fact. There's the other serious matter of my impact statements highlighting the theft of my belongings from properties where people have been trespassing and stealing. So these are all issues that I'm highlighting in this upload with regard to also my experience of financial theft in my community since 2003, 2006, and even more so in more recent days since I became a married mother and people commenced trespassing on my property. So these are the same subjects that I have to keep reiterating because they're just simply not being addressed. There's a big faith issue as well of people speaking of being in good faith and then practicing principles that are contrary to good faith. So this is all what I'm contending with. It's quite dangerous circumstance that has been caused in my lovely community. People taking credit for my work as a humanitarian, people of slander and false reporting to facilitate human rights abuses and retaliatory processes, politicians not doing their jobs properly, politicians abusing women and children's rights, politicians disrespecting royal patronage and assisting theft from royal patronage, any politician of a democracy that is facilitating theft of my royal patronage is in contempt in this country. The issue of my humanitarian work being disrespected and other individuals taking credit for my work, that's all very dangerous. So there's a huge problem being caused due to bad politics in this country since 2017 when poor favours were accommodated to support the unlawful actions and separation of my child from me illegally. So that's when it commenced, and they still haven't addressed the problems that that has caused, and they've been negotiating and wrangling around very serious matters. So there's a very dangerous issue with the Taoiseach of the country and the Taoiseach knowing about these problems and not doing anything about them. So it's quite dangerous also as a law-abiding citizen with a clean track record and a humanitarian record that has helped the UK and Ireland for any government of this country to be in any conceptual premise of repeat retaliatory offences against a mother, a property owner, humanitarian of a very clean track record. So I'd appreciate the Government of Ireland being honourable because my child is quite precious and I'm a mother and a teacher, and it's a really bad example to budding teachers and educators just to accommodate property theft. Property theft is quite dangerous in this country with what's been happening. So I'd appreciate the government being humble and respecting courage and bravery and respecting strength, courage, serenity and wisdom. It'd be really helpful if the honourable government could set a good example in this particular situation. Strength, courage, serenity and wisdom is a very powerful fellowship of good standing throughout the world that I represent.